Hello, my fellow fans of the small. I'm Laura Blair, and this is Tiny Worlds, Big Stories. Here we celebrate the artists who craft small-scale magic, miniature makers, diorama dreamers, and dollhouse designers, and uncover the stories and creativity that bring these tiny worlds to life. Whether you build tiny scenes or simply love them, welcome. Today, we're talking to Kate Davenport Hilgenberg. When I first saw her Adobe house, I was stunned by the craftsmanship. The texture of the Adobe, the authenticity of the Southwest architecture. I'm a huge fan of New Mexico, and so this build kind of blew my mind. This wasn't just a miniature structure. It was an homage, a deeply researched, beautifully executed reflection of traditional Southwest building. But what truly sets Kate apart is that she approaches her work like a general contractor and a master builder of 1/12 scale. She doesn't just decorate a dollhouse, she constructs it thoughtfully, methodically, with an eye for structural integrity, proportion, and refinement. Her attention to detail isn't flashy. It's disciplined and intentional, and that level of care is what makes her tiny worlds feel so convincingly real. In this episode, we talk about how an act of love, building a dollhouse for her grandchildren many years ago, evolved into a serious exploration of architecture, craftsmanship, and storytelling in miniature. We dive into her process, her standards, and why refinement matters at any scale. If you love miniatures, masterful making, and conversations about elevated craft from hobby to art form, this one is going to inspire you. Hi, Kate. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. It's great to see you. I'm doing
Oh,
well.
it's so great to see you too. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am a big fan and I'm excited to ask you all the things that a lot of people probably want to know. And my first question always is, tell me about little Kate. What were you like as a kid? Did you like miniatures? Did you like small things, or did that come later?
I did like small things. I was thinking about that. One of my early memories was a black cardboard suitcase that I had, a small little black cardboard suitcase that had a blue fabric lining. And I had that filled with little things. I had some hand-me-down Renwall furniture from my older sisters, but I also had, just would collect odds and ends. And I carry that suitcase around and then open it and make little scenes and rooms and vignettes. And I remember distinctly a little children's jigsaw puzzle piece that was shaped like and had the image of a bird cage. And I just thought that was so cool. So I had to incorporate that into
Like
my.
tiny little pieces? Tiny
No, it was
little.
just a puzzle piece, but it was
Okay.
printed with the image of a bird cage and the shape like a bird cage. But I hauled that thing around and just loved it. My mother referred to it as my little fiddly things.
Well, gosh, so it was already there like from the beginning for you. How
Mhm.
interesting. Your fiddly things have become these lessons in a master class of craftsmanship. So we're going to talk about that. Do you remember the first miniature structure you built, like when you were younger? Did you build anything for your little fiddly things?
Vaguely remember, like little shoe boxes and, that kind of stuff, but nothing major. My father.
Okay, your
Yeah.
dad. We're going to talk about your dad. So he was he was a general contractor. He built
Yes.
beautiful things. How did that affect you, and what was that like growing up with him?
Well, I was always aware of building. He had a workshop at home, and he had at his business, he had a great big workshop. And so I was impressed that he could make things, and he was a real detail guy. So I think I inherited that love of detail from him. In later years, he did marquetry. He did woodworking. He made beautiful wood trays with marquetry designs that he designed that were so
Mm.
intricate, all just little pieces of wood. And so that influence was there from the beginning. And he, as well as my mom, were always very encouraging for any projects I wanted to try.
That's so great. Yeah, that's a big part of it. It seems like a lot of people say that. My parents let me figure this all out, the creative thing,
Exactly. Yes.
to give that license. And you do that for your grandkids. So I want you to tell us the origin story of like how this whole thing blew up for you. And when you had that ding, 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 this is what I want to do moment. I love the story.
Okay. Well, it was a few months after my father passed away. I remembered the dollhouse that he had made me when I was a child was up in the attic of our house. And so I thought, I'm going to get that out. Because at the time I had three granddaughters. One was six, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. And I thought, would probably enjoy this. So I got the dollhouse out and cleaned it up. and put the furniture in it. And the first time they went to play with it, something got broken because there were fragile things in there. And I thought, well, this probably isn't what they need. So I put that aside and decided to build them, create a dollhouse for them with my husband, who was very handy, and designed a cabinet dollhouse for them. I knew it was going to be something we would keep at our house for them to play with at our house. And I didn't really want a big dollhouse per se sitting around. So I thought that might be a good solution. And I proceeded to look online and find some green leaf wood punch out kits for furniture that I thought
Mhm.
would be sturdy for them, and some printables for wallpaper and floor covering and tile and that sort of thing. And then so I ordered the kits. And when they arrived, I punched out enough so I could determine the sizes of the room, the sizes of the furniture so that I could design the rooms, and then drew up drawings for my husband to build. And he built this, and it was three levels, 9 rooms, and I had so much fun.
So what was the moment when you thought, I think I might want to do more of this?
Once it was finished, he also drilled holes in the back of 2 holes in the back wall of each room, and I ran little LED Christmas lights through those holes,
Ugh,
and then attached an extension cord with a switch for the girls. It got all finished. I opened it up, and the lights were on. And to God, felt like magic to me.
I bet. Well, to them, can you imagine little girls? Were they
Yes.
just freaking out? You're the hero grandma.
And it was just so fun, so
So
fun.
you wanted more of that. You wanted that more of that feeling, the magic.
I did, and with that little house, it was for their birthdays they're coming up, and so I decided as a way to present it to them, to make it special for their birthdays, I did a little picture book, a little storybook for them.
So do you feel like this is a part of your family legacy, this project that you
I
made?
think
Like these
so,
kids are
I
gonna
think
have
so.
this forever.
Yeah, I think
Who gets to keep it?
I don't know. I don't know. Whoever has a spot for it, I guess, but,
So fast forward to now, I mean, your work, and I've been following it for a while. It's so, I mean, I'm gonna brag on you for a second. The craftsmanship, I always feel like when I look at your work, you're a general contractor for 1/12 scale. Like it really, when you look at it up close, a lot of times you can't tell it's a dollhouse and just the wood pieces and the attention to detail and all of it. Like, how long does one of your builds right now take?
well, it depends, of course, on the size of the project. Right now, I'm working on just some room boxes, and they take me about a month, start to
And this
finish.
is the Clue project?
Yeah, the clue rooms.
How did you think of that? It's so cool.
Well, I spotted a bird cage on Facebook Marketplace, and I thought, oh, that would be a fun conservatory. And so I'd always kind of thought that'd be fun to do. So I picked it up. And as I was working on it, I thought conservatory reminded me of my favorite childhood board game, Clue. And I thought, you know, I should do all of the Clue rooms in the same footprint, basically, and just do a
Yeah.
series of rooms, all the Clue rooms. And it has been so much fun. And it seems to have kind of, you know, touched a chord with people.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I mean, a lot of us who played that game too, it's like, yeah, to see it actually alive and looking like a real, a real room that your little characters in your mind played with. So this is like a thematic project. Most of the things you do are not necessarily thematic, right?
No, not
You've
at
done
all.
styles of homes. Do you think you're going to do more of themes?
Like a series of themes. I don't know. I don't know what's next. It's been very fun, and people have followed along. I mean, so that part is very fun, but I don't
Yeah.
know. But I like exploring different styles of homes, and so I don't know.
So the tools that you use, I'm thinking of this whole like general contractor of 1/12 idea. Do you use any special tools that the rest of us might not know about? Or what part's uniquely miniature? What part is like kind of feels like real construction to you?
Kind of creating plans. I mean, I kind of draw
Hmm.
rough floor plans and elevations, and then once the walls start to go up, it feels like actual construction. But I don't think I use any special tools that everybody else doesn't have.
Maybe just more time. I mean, a lot of your details look like they take a lot of time,
So
extra time.
I have time. I'm retired, and um, I do take it takes some time, but it goes so quickly because I love it so much. I don't even realize.
Yeah. So what did you do before you were retired? And were you building miniatures during that time?
Some of the time, most of the time, not. I did design consultation and color consultation on the side. That was just freelance that and staging. I did staging for realtors when that kind of blew up that industry, and that was fun.
Yeah.
But prior to that, I worked for a large floor covering retailer. They sold countertops, flooring, tile, that sort of thing. And I worked by appointment with one of the big home builders clients when they were building homes and helped them make all their
I am
selections.
seeing a through line here. So, I mean, it's design, it's construction, it's all the things about building a beautiful home, building a place that feels lovely to you. I mean, and is that kind of what you go in with that mindset when you're starting a new kid or a new home? Or do you build everything from scratch, by the way? Is it all
I
scratch?
have been lately, but no, I've done kits. Definitely started
Okay.
out doing kits, and I still enjoy doing that. I don't ever do them the way they say I'm supposed to do them.
I don't think you should. I think it should be the Kate way or no way. What skill has taken you the longest to master in terms of some of these builds?
Laser cutter.
Yeah, I don't love the laser cutter. I wish I did. I'm learning.
It's a really valuable tool for doing walls and cabinetry and, that sort of thing, windows and doors. But it still is a little intimidating to me.
Yeah, yeah. Do you 3D print also?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Love that. You maybe hear it going in the background, but yes,
Mine's always going to. I can't tell with your work what's 3D printed though when I look at your
a lot of
rooms.
it is.
Really? Well, you do a good job with the painting because I can't tell.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, that's very cool. So you start with a plan and then, or a kit, like you said, and then you're off and running. Do you do like the design part, since this is something you did with your career before? And I would imagine your house is probably well designed too, your own home. Do you start from the floor or do you start with the furniture or the walls? Like, how does that work for you?
Mean the design concept or just the
Actual
process?
doing of yeah, like when you're going to start to furnish it, when you're going to start to do trim, like colors, how does that work?
Well, as far as colors go, I typically like to have a color palette that I use kind of throughout a project, whether it's a house, so everything I could look at it as a single work, so that the color I don't have a blue room and a red room and a yellow. But so yeah, I come up with a concept and then I get on that design in my head and then kind of start drawing it out of paper. And then I'll do a floor plan and some elevations where I'll figure out where I want the windows and the cabinetry or whatever. And then once I have an idea as to furniture, especially with like built-ins, I will design those on my Cricut Design Space and then cut them out of cereal box and assemble them as
Oh,
cereal box material just to
oh, that's brilliant.
if they're the right scale, if they need to be higher or taller or wider or deeper.
Yeah,
Um,
that's really smart because you can see it. Yeah, I'm a visual. I could see how that would really work. See what you
mhm,
got first before you commit to the
right.
laser printing and everything. Yeah. So, would you call yourself a perfectionist with your builds?
Somewhat. My husband and children would tell you, oh, yeah, yeah.
It has to be excellent. Like when it's done, you want to look at it and say,
If it's something I'm really interested in and take pride in, there's some things I could, but miniatures, I try to make them as perfect as I can, but
yeah, well, I think you got that down. How do you know when a build is done?
I photograph it because things show up in photos that don't just show
Hmm.
up sometimes with the naked eye. I make sure there are no gaps. Gaps will show up, and if there are, I have a little thing. I maybe other people do this, but I was trying to figure out one day how to fill tiny little gap above the cabinetry in the ceiling, and I do cake decorating for just for the family. So I got a disposable pastry tube I use and put lightweight spackle in there with a tiny
Mm-hmm.
little round tip, and then can just pipe it, wipe it with a Q-tip, and so filling
Brilliant.
gaps. If there are any, then the photos will show up if there are any shiny spots from adhesive and if it looks like I don't need to add or delete anything.
So what we're seeing on your Instagram, like that's you're done. It's the project is finished. You're feeling good about it. You're photographing it.
Well,
Whatever you put out into the world is like Kate worthy. Yes,
yes, I mean I'll do some progress pictures along the way.
you are great about that. Yeah, yeah, that is fun.
People seem to like progress.
They do, especially those of us who build. Want to see how does the magic happen? How do you do it? Yeah. Have you ever taken anything out, like done something and went, rip it out?
Yeah,
Really?
walls. Yes, I have cabinets. Yeah, when I was working on my Santorini house, it was before I had a laser cutter, and I was doing because there were walls with niches, arched niches.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing when I would do interior walls, add them, I would use just several layers of mat board laminated together that I could cut with my Cricut, get those kind of but it just wasn't sturdy enough, and I got my laser cutter, so I took the wall out and completely redid it.
Is that painful? All that work having to go away?
It just not really because I wasn't proud of it. I just wanted it.
You wanted to go away. Interesting. Okay. Have you ever hit like a big project at the midpoint where you just quit and said, "Yeah, moving on to a different house"? Have you always stayed with it?
I've always stayed with it, but almost every project at some point, I'll hit that and think, "This one's just not gonna be any good at all. I just don't like this."
I think every artist does that though, the ugly stage, even painters and stuff. I hear that they get to that, "Oh, this is awful." And then all of a sudden they can pivot
One
and figure it out.
Yeah, it seems like then one thing. It's you delete something, you add something, you change the color of something. I don't know. It just seems like then you're back on track. But I hit that almost every time.
That's interesting. That's good to hear with someone like you who does it because I think most of us who are kind of at the beginning of this learning stage, it's like, "Oh, am I ever going to figure this out? Is it ever not going to be a first time on creating some of these things?" Well, I want to talk about, you said your Santorini house, which I'm going to put a picture. So if you're listening to this podcast, you got to go to YouTube and look, because I'm going to show images of Kate's builds and they're beautiful. A lot of them are very different, but the one that spoke to me the most, and this is before I even knew it was you, this was years ago, I think, right? I saw your Adobe house somewhere along the way, and I have a love affair with New Mexico. It doesn't make any sense because I'm from the Northwest, but I love it. We're going to talk about how you like New Mexico as well. And I saw your build of this Adobe, and it was like, it was brilliant. And at first, I couldn't tell if it was real or miniature. And then I realized it was miniature. And then when I found you and I started following, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is a lady who did the Adobe house." So I want you to tell me all of it. Like, how did you decide to do that? What about New Mexico for you? And like the materials? I'm just interested in such a unique build.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's New Mexico, but also Arizona. I had a sister who lived in Scottsdale for many, many, many years, and we would go every winter to Scottsdale for vacation, but also New Mexico, or some went to college in New Mexico. And that
Oh, okay.
just the beauty of that part of the country. I love, and I always was drawn to the Adobe houses. I love the styles and the simplicity of the lines. And so that actually started out as a kit, that
Oh,
Adobe house.
okay.
I changed a few things. It was initially to have 4 walls, but no roof, which is awkward, I think. It's not my favorite style and of miniatures and tough to photograph. So I just cut back the back wall and added a roof by resting up, and built a roof that rested, a flat platform that rested on the vigas that go through the side walls.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would rest on there, and made like a rooftop, little sitting area or whatever, little rooftop patio.
Mm-hmm.
And then it could also lift off of the vigas of the patio um,
Right.
on the ground. So, but yeah, and I changed a few other things, but that did start out as a kid. I saw it and thought that would be so fun because it's so unlike any other type of doll.
Photographed it with that cool, like you did the sky, you did the New Mexico sky in the background. I mean, you're really good about the backgrounds. Like the homes that your builds, they sit in an environment where you can visualize what it would look like in real life. I think there's a lot to that as well.
Oh,
And it made me want to do that, like take my dollhouse out and put it outside, and photograph it. It makes a big difference for sure. Did you use different materials like the Adobe part? What was that like for you? Because you're usually,
I just mixed a product by Zinsser, I think, that's called Rolatex or something. It's a silica sand type additive that I mixed with latex paint.
hmm
Just
and that was the Adobe.
that was it.
Super cool. And you still have that, yeah? You have
I
it in
do.
your possession? Okay. Someday I'm going to see that in person. Okay. The story with your homes, the other ones that you build, are there any? I know Clue obviously is a theme and it has a fun story all in itself, but have there been other homes that you've built that you kind of build a story in your head, or is it just a construction project where you really want to, stick to the style?
Well, I always have a story in my head, like, um, who would live here? What is their story? Like when I redid the house that my father built for me as a child, he had cut little vinyl tiles, they were probably vinyl asbestos tiles at the time, into small little squares, and tiled the kitchen and the bathroom. And I decided I wanted to rehab that house, but the kitchen tiles were all bright, fun colors. And so I decided to make it kind of pay tribute to the mid-century origins of the house, and make it. I envisioned a young artist moving into that house and keeping some of the original mid-century features, but also kind of updating. So yeah, I always have kind of a story that helps me.
Yeah. Do you have a house that you would live in? What's your home of choice? One of your builds? Oh, well,
Hawaiian house,
obviously,
yeah, in
Hawaii,
New
yeah.
Mexico. I think, probably the one that gave me the most trouble was Storm Cove. It was
Oh,
a big house, and I just liked the layout of it.
so do you think like a designer when you're doing this? Like, how would I want to flow through this house if I was
Oh,
12, if I was 6 inches tall?
absolutely, yeah, design my degree is in interior design,
Yeah.
and so, yes, that always is the first question. If this were real and given to me, that all of a sudden I owned it, how would I design it? What would I do with it?
Yeah. And I think that maybe that really goes into your perfectionism too and the craftsmanship part. Because as discerning as a 6 inch person is, they would look around and say, wow, this is a really great quality house. That's the story in your head of that person. I love that. That's great. What do you want people to feel when they look at your work? Either other miniaturists or just people who love miniatures.
Tricked is always fun.
Ah,
If they don't realize it's, miniature, but nostalgic sometimes.
mm, mm.
Sometimes, well, happy. I've had, one woman one time online told me that she saves my pictures, and when she gets sad, she looks at them and it makes her happy, and, boy, doesn't get any better than that, you know?
That is
Um,
the truth. Yeah. It's a joy. It's a joyful account, yours. It's really fun to see what you're doing. So, yeah, I love that. That's great. I want to talk about commissions. Do you take any commissions or do you just do your own thing?
I do
Is that
not.
fun for you? Not taking
Mhm.
commissions. That's a mixed bag.
I can do what I wanna do. I do sell them. I do sell finished
Okay.
pieces.
So, do you have a lot of the ones you built already still with you?
Not many. I have the one that I
Ah,
did for the granddaughters initially, and my
hmm.
one that my dad made, but I have the Hawaiian house and the Adobe. Otherwise, I've sold or donated. I've donated several to charity fundraising auctions.
Wonderful. Oh, boy, I bet they're a hit at a charity
Some
auction. Goodness. Are you sad when they go away or is it like, oh, I'm done with this project?
not anymore. I'm kinda love the one you're with kinda person for with the dollhouses.
I
Um,
love that.
usually the whatever I'm working on now is my favorite, you know, but
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes is it a relief to not have to look at it every day when it's done?
yeah, it's a good feeling to kinda get some like, a couple of them are like the Adobe house and the Hawaiian house are in a closet, so it's kinda silly.
Gotta get those out of the closet. Yeah, yeah, I know. You can only have so much space for doll houses, right? I know.
Yeah, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with the Clue series. I kinda like to keep it together. My husband suggested maybe donating it, like, to a library in the children's section.
Well, I suggest there are some amazing miniaturist museums in this country, and in fact, a lot of them follow you. Was that ever something you would think about, having your work seen as art in a museum? That'd be amazing.
Absolutely, is it KSB? I just wanna say
She
yeah,
was like,
KS
"This is cool."
well, I'd be honored if anybody wanted to do that.
Well, the fact that they're all together and they are a package deal for sure, and the craftsmanship, I can't even I mean, I would be thrilled. I would like there's one in Tucson, right? There's a museum in
Yes,
Tucson. I mean, I'd go see that in a heartbeat. I think that message will come to you. Just put it out there and it'll come back because people are
probably
following along.
shipping it makes me nervous now.
Well, let's talk about shipping. I want you to tell that story because that's pretty heartbreaking.
Well, I sold the Santorini house to a woman in Philadelphia who was married in Santorini at sunset, and she wanted to buy this, and I thought, "How perfect is that?"
Mhm.
So I boxed it up, which I thought in a very secure manner. I had shipped one the previous year to Portugal. My husband had built a crate for it. That was Storm Cove, went to Portugal, and it arrived with no issue. And so, pardon me, kind of the same packing method, but not a crate, but a really heavy duty box, shipping box. And it was demolished in shipping.
Oh, oh, that makes me sick.
What happened? I mean, had it packed well. I had the this end up and the fragile stickers, but it looked like it had to have fallen down a flight of stairs. I don't know.
Maybe it did. Yeah. Well, and they're not going to admit that. Yeah. So that was a wash, right? You didn't do another one. That was it.
I did not. I didn't charge her. She had the pieces if she wanted to put them together, and a lot of the furniture probably made it, but I don't know.
So the company did not take any responsibility.
Said packing air. The only thing I can think of is maybe I had it packed too tightly. I had
Mm,
rigid insulation all around. It was a tight fit.
that seems like that would be a good thing. So do you have any trepidation now about shipping stuff?
Absolutely.
Is it a deal breaker? Like, would you not want to ship like to Portugal again? Like if you had that opportunity?
That was kind of it was fun. It was a fun thing to do, but that was a lot more involved than shipping um, within the
The
United
dream
States.
is someone comes picks it up and you're at your house.
That's the way, yeah, I've done those. But I don't know what's your market, of course, but yes, I have sold settled that way.
Well,
Um,
I think when you take that clue series to a museum, you just got to drive the whole thing all at
there you
once.
go.
You'll be good. I wanted to ask you, do you feel like people understand? Well, and this is probably not miniaturists because they get it. People in general, the muggles of the world, did they understand the labor that it takes and what's involved in this?
I think they do. I think they do because so many people will say, "How long did that take you?" So they must understand. The one thing I think they don't understand is 3D printing. I think they think you just push a button and it's done. You don't have to do
I
anything.
wish.
Yeah. So I don't think they understand that. But at least I think they appreciate the amount of time.
Hmm.
But then they also are. They just finished that library for the Clue Rooms library, and I printed I printed the interior parts of the books and then printed covers, but I don't think they realize how long those take. And then I did them.
Oh, I know how long the books take. I've done that. That's a huge process. Oh my gosh. Watching TV, wrapping the books.
They watched the Olympics, and yeah, there were 200 plus, and then I decided that the covers all looked too bright, so I took all the
Oh.
covers off and redid them.
Oh, you are a perfectionist. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Well, I mean, that's the difference though. When you do that, I mean, that's what kind of gives
Well,
it that seal of excellence, you know?
it wouldn't have looked right. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you there. Has the social media thing, has that changed your journey at all? Because you're good at it.
oh my God. Yes. I was kind of, a closeted miniaturist for so many years. I didn't tell anybody.
Why? Why? Tell me that. Because everyone says that. Why?
People would think, God, that old lady's making dollhouses like some old lady with 40 cats. No, I didn't. And then I discovered a few miniaturists online that I started following. Eventually on Facebook, I got up the courage to maybe post something. I was so scared to hit post, but
Oh,
then the responses were amazing. And people were so kind and so interested. And so it gave me courage to kind of keep going there. But I didn't do Instagram until few years ago. My daughter and her
mhm.
friend encouraged me to do it. And again, I posted one time and the miniature community is so wonderful.
I know. Isn't it the best? It's the best. That's why I do this. I love talking to you guys because you're the best. It's a wonderful group.
It's so kind and supportive and sharing. And I post that and immediately two or three, pretty top notch miniaturists shared it on what is it, the story,
Mhm.
on their stories with a nice comment. And that was it. I kind of got started. But yeah, they're just such nice people. And
So when you're at a party now and people say, "You're retired, what do you like to do?" Do you say, "I am a miniaturist and I build amazing dollhouses"? Do you say it?
I finally just started calling myself a miniaturist. It seemed a little grand for what I did. I would just say but yeah, I'll say I did do that.
Yeah.
And some people know, obviously, but
Is it like a job for you? Do you get up in the morning, do your thing, and then like go in the studio and you're there all day?
absolutely not all day. But yes, every morning I get up, have my coffee, play my word games, watch a little news if I can stand it, and then
And then heal yourself with miniatures.
exactly, and then I escape to the sanctity of mini world. Yes, every day.
That's common too. I've been hearing that a lot lately, that people like it's just such a relief to have this to work on right now because it is happy and sweet and the people are kind, around us. Yeah. I have you ever thought about taking some of your builds to some of these big shows so people can see them in person?
Not really. I don't. It doesn't appeal to me a whole lot. I don't like crowd.
Oh, you don't like crowds. Interesting. Would you ever want to teach your skills?
Maybe
Okay. Okay. So not like a workshop at a miniature conference or anything like that.
that I'd be any good at it.
Oh, yes, you would, but that's just me. Well, kids, I mean, it sounds like this whole thing started with your grandkids, so that makes a lot of sense. Maybe building something out of paper or cardboard for kids, that they get to build it. That would be fun. Camp Kate with dollhouses.
There you go.
I love it. So what miniatures do you love to follow? Like, what are some of the ones you just can't wait to see what they're doing?
Chris Toledo. Everybody else. Paris Rental. And Christina. I can't remember. if it's spyback or but tiny eclectic.
Yes, her stuff is gorgeous.
She's so good.
Special. I agree.
Yeah, she's probably my favorite. It's like Architectural Digest in miniature. It's just
Totally.
her lighting is just she just really is good.
That's another one where you can't tell it's real or not. Can't tell if
Oh,
it's real or miniature for sure. That was one of the first accounts I thought I went, oh, and Paris is like, oh my goodness, what is
uh-huh.
this? What is this world? That was in 2020 for me. What was the year you started when you did the thing with your grandkids? What year was that?
2012.
Oh, way earlier. Interesting. So you were doing all of this all along. And I feel like 2020 is when it exploded because everyone had time and they were miserable at home. So they were like, oh, I'm going to pick up miniatures. So you've been you're like a pro. You've been in this a long time.
Just a
So
veteran.
I could see where that crossover, like you don't want to tell anybody. And now it's like, it's such a cool thing.
It's socially acceptable now.
They're joy bringers. It's joy. People want to be joyful and they want to remember how they felt as kids. And I think that's a big part of
Mhm.
miniatures as well. So what have miniatures taught you about like patience and control, beauty?
Well, control it. You can control the world, your little world that you're working on. You can make it however you want it, and nothing bad can happen aside from maybe, a house getting destroyed in transit.
Yeah.
But patience, definitely. You have to take your time with things. And if you paint something and it buckles, if you wait a day or two, it probably will level out or whatever. If it's from some moisture based product, water based product you're using on it, or that Storm Cove house took a lot of patience. That was one
I
I was
bet.
ready to throw in the dumpster. I bought it on Craigslist, I guess, and went and got it, and it was a good deal. It was a really nice quality house and great price, and she had stored it in her garage for many years, and I brought it home and didn't open the box for a couple of years myself, but I had it inside, but everything was so badly warped, just really badly warped.
How do you fix
I
warping?
I was ready to give up, but my husband, bless his heart, has, a big workshop, and he has every tool known to man, and so we wet the pieces and weighted them for a
Oh,
couple of days or whatever, and then with lots of clamps and the nail guns, and once we started getting it he helped me get the pieces together, series of clamps and nail guns. We got it to straighten out, but I ended up having to jack the 2nd floor and keep a jack in the kitchen
oh,
jacking up the 2nd floor while I was working on that before I got down to the
so serious
uh,
labor of love on this one. Big time, that house. Oh, and it was a big house too.
it turned out, but
Yes, it did. And it's being played with in Portugal right now, I bet. So that's pretty cool. Uh,
but
so the process, have you had other houses that you've built that have been kind of like you find them on Craigslist, you find them on Facebook Marketplace, and you bash them or whatever, or do you usually start from scratch?
yeah, the only one I've redone 2. I redid the one my dad built for
Right.
me, and then, early on, when I first started, the first kit I ever did was a little travel trailer that I did for the
Oh,
grandkids
cute.
again
Hmm.
with little sturdy furniture, and I was gonna throw it out a couple years ago, and I thought, "Maybe I'll tear this apart, see what I can do with it," so I made I called it summer rental, a little lakeside.
And then again, you did the backdrop with that, right? You took pictures with the
Yeah.
little, yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I remember that one. That's neat. Well, that's good. That's good. I would say don't throw anything out. Between your husband and you could probably salvage whatever is out there. Okay, so I have a little lightning round for you. Coffee or
Uh-huh.
tea while you're building?
Coffee or water.
Do you listen to music in the studio or no?
Just pretty much have it quiet. I've tried podcasts, I've tried audiobooks. I just whatever it is, I just kinda tune it out. I'm focused and I don't hear anything. I have an Aveda scented candle I like to have going.
Okay. Do you have podcasts that you can recommend that you like?
Well, yours, of course.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you very much.
I don't listen to a ton of podcasts for some reason.
Mad About Miniatures is always fun for me to hear who Becky's gonna talk to.
Mad About Ministries is good.
She was the one who inspired me to do this. I was like, I could do this. I want to talk to people.
Absolutely. Yeah, she does a good job.
She does, and she's delightful. I can't wait to meet her at some point at some one of these shows. Have you ever thought about going to guild school? Gosh, you could probably teach there. Have you ever thought about that?
I have thought that would be pretty fun. Yeah.
Boy, I would think you could probably, if you're learning a new skill, you would probably learn it pretty quickly and add it into your arsenal.
There are a lot of skills I could learn for sure, but yeah, it does sound like a lot of fun.
I think the danger is they're going to ask you to teach, and then you're going to have to go back. That's it. What's the most satisfying miniature detail to complete?
Probably a pulse ring because I hate it. So it's very satisfying when it's over.
Do you ever outsource anything or do you do everything yourself?
I do everything. That's my
Wow.
goal, is to make everything in a build. And so finally I've gotten there now with the laser cutter and the 3D printer to help, to help.
When did you add those two things in? Because if you started in 2012.
Yeah, I got a Cricut was my first little, technological thing for dollhouses. I got that, but I got the 3D printer probably 3 years ago. And then last year for my third birthday, my husband got me a laser cutter.
Oh, so that's made a big difference, I would imagine, the laser cutter. Yeah, because doing all that by hand.
Yeah, which I didn't. I mean, I didn't do many scratch builds before that. And then I did use the Cricut for some things prior to that, like for cabinets and that sort of thing. But no, it's made a huge difference.
I bet. And 3D printing is kind of wild. You can print anything,
Oh,
anything, if you think about it. Isn't it cool?
it's incredible. I remember when I was working on my little Hawaiian beach house, I thought, oh, some coral would be fun in here. And I thought, I wonder if there's a file for coral. Sure enough, several of them.
Wow. Okay, so what do you want to what's like the craziest build you could think of maybe that you might want to do? Either ambitious or whatever that could involve that kind of detail. Because sky's the limit, man, on what you could do now.
I know it is. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one. I've already
To do something big, like a building or apartment or something like that.
that would be fun. Yeah, that could be fun. But space is a bit of a concern too.
Yeah. I know that's true. So you have those two awesome builds living in the closet right now. They're so sad. They want to come out, but you don't have space.
I just don't know.
So do you just lay it all out? Do you put it all away? You leave it. You just leave everything.
Well, it's a designated space. It's a way
Yeah.
work shop or workroom. Um, so no, I put things away. Sometimes
So that's frustrating. It's nice to leave the mess out sometimes.
I do that too.
What's a detail that you think miniaturists overlook with buildings, with their builds?
With their builds,
Mm-hmm.
finishing the face edges.
Oh, mm-hmm.
I see that done fairly often in some really pretty nice builds, and that face edge is left raw.
Good tip. Okay. Yeah.
That and the gaps.
Yeah. Well, like you were saying with the cake icing thing with the plaster, that you really can just pretty much fill in everything now with that. I've seen that quite a bit lately on people's process videos.
Oh yeah.
Did you learn all this like as you went? How did you learn some of these things? YouTube?
Yes, YouTube, and some of the Facebook miniature groups share some ideas, and some of them, like the pastry tube, I just figured out. I didn't realize that everybody else was doing that, but yeah, some of them I just.
Yeah. Because that's a lot of skills in there to learn. I mean, if you think about a dollhouse, it's everything. Like you said, it's the upholstery, it's the woodworking, it's the painting. It's so many. I guess that's what makes it fun too, because you get to jump around to all these different things, right?
Different skills, different styles.
Yeah. It's a great hobby or profession for someone who likes to jump around for sure. Okay, so my last question for you is when I ask everybody, and it's what did little Kate love watching her dad build and all these things that grown-up Kate gets to honor through this work?
If there's one thing, um, I think he would be proud. I wish he had lived to see this. I didn't start till right after he passed away. Um, probably honoring his work.
And what do you honor in you when you were little, doing all these amazing things these days?
Interior design, creativity. All I ever wanted to be was an interior designer. I had a backyard playhouse that my father built for me, and every summer I would paint and make new curtains and repaint and redecorate it.
Oh, I think little Kate would be pretty shocked with the excellence that you do that now. I think she'd be like, "Wow, I'm really going to be a builder and I'm really going to be a designer." That's pretty cool.
Thanks. Yeah, I think I would have been excited for sure because I loved miniatures. It would have been, and I love that there are so many different styles of miniatures now. I mean, it used to be just Victorian.
I know I had a Victorian dollhouse when I was little and I thought that's all there was until later. Yeah.
Until Paris Renfro, I didn't really realize that you didn't have to
I
do
know.
Victorian,
I know, and he's my mentor and my hero, and he was the one I contacted when I
And
wanted to do this because I just was so blown away by his sense of design. And he's like you though, he's a builder of small things but in a big thing way. Like, like it has to be perfect scale and the craftsmanship has to be excellent. And you guys are very similar with that. And I think when you do that, it does up the ante for everybody, who are doing these builds. It makes people want to have the thing where people say, is that real or is that miniature? Because that's the question. And I asked that a lot when I was looking at Paris and stuff. Is that real? That looks real. Well, it's so lovely to talk to you, and I'm excited to see what you do next. I'm going to follow along and to see when I can make a trip to go see your clue boxes, wherever they end up.
Maybe in a closet in my basement, who knows?
No. I'm going to personally come over there and take them out if you put them. Oh, man. Well, it's just been so fun to follow along. And thank you for what you put out, the excellence that you put out into the miniature world, and how, gracious you are about sharing your information too. It's a good little planet to live on, little mini universe to live on, isn't it?
It is. And thank you so much for thinking of me.
Oh,
And
yes. It's a no-brainer.
It's an honor.
Thank you. And and go do your thing. It's not too late in the day. You got time to go build stuff right now.
That's right. That's right.
Thanks, Kate.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you. Bye-bye.
If you loved this episode, make sure you're subscribed on Apple or Spotify podcasts or the YouTube channel so you don't miss the stories and wisdom these incredible artists share. I'd love to see you inside my newsletter, Small by Design. On YouTube, just tap the link in the description. On Apple Podcasts, scroll to the bottom of the show notes. You can follow along on Instagram at Laura Blair Art Studio for my art and at Tiny World's Big Stories for podcast updates. If you're feeling generous, a 5-star rating helps other miniature fans find the show. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time in another Tiny World with a big story.